All right, the UK now is overhauling their non-dom system, and they'll be starting to change it dramatically to the point where uh, people are going to be taxed on their worldwide income. The non-dom system used to be unlimited on the number of years that you could come into the UK and not be taxed except on remitted income. And they changed it to where you had like a 7-year period, a window there where you didn't have to pay taxes except for remitted income for about 7 years. Now what they're doing is the Labor Party, they want to come in and they want to change it to where it's they're whittling this down to 4 years, and it's become they're gonna totally disband it eventually. Okay, it's just they're gradually just kind of pulling people out of it. A lot of wealthy people left the country when they made these changes back. I think it was right around 2015, 2017. And they ended up making it where you only have it used to be perpetual, and then they knocked it down to roughly about 7 years, and now it's down to 4 years they're going to do it, and they're going to finally just take it out. So if you're looking for something that's similar, that's got an English-speaking country, I'll tell you what's a lot better, and it's a lot more conservative country. I don't think they'll change their laws on it, and that's Ireland. And I'm talking about the Republic of Ireland, not the Ireland that's the Northern Ireland part of the UK. And I think Ireland, that they've seen that the kind of money it brings in. UK's already lost a lot of wealthy foreigners that spend tons of money that the UK can make from stamp duties and stuff like VAT and sales taxes and stuff like this, and they've lost this just because they're greedy. They think the person's greedy, want all their money. Well, the government's gotten greedy. And what's happened is people have left the country now, and more people will leave the UK because of this. People were buying yachts and all kinds of things that they were getting huge VAT and sales tax on, and things like this. But now they've lost that because they want to try to get their income too. And so all this business now is going to places like Cyprus, Malta. Ireland's actually better than Malta or Cyprus because Cyprus has a 17-year period. Malta's an island. A lot of people don't want to go to an island like that. And so it just depends on what you're looking for. It's perpetual, though, in Ireland, and I don't think Ireland's going to change that. But anyway, the UK is overhauling its system of preferential tax treatment for wealthy foreigners, creating revenue for the government to spend on British voters at the expense of agitating some of the nation's richest residents. There's an article that came out in Fortune magazine on it, and they were talking about the Chancellor of the Exchanger, Jeremy Hunt, said in a budget speech on Wednesday that the non-domicile status would be abolished after more than 2 centuries they've had this. I mean, isn't this something? This is how liberal the government's gotten in there now. And with a new tax system based on where people live, taking an account from taking an effect from April 2025. Now, the changes include everyone will pay UK tax on their foreign income and gains after living in the country for 4 years, scrapping the remittance basis rule that only taxes money brought into the UK. Now, new arrivals will benefit from 100% UK tax relief on foreign income and gains for their first 4 years. Now, there'll be a temporary 50% cut in the personal foreign income subject to tax in 2025, 2026 for non-doms who will lose access to the remittance basis. And then also inheritance tax will also move in to a residence basis regime with the details yet to be confirmed. So they'll be coming out with that. But that's going to be taking a lot of money right there. A lot of wealthy people will go out, they'll leave, and it's going to affect the property values there too. Now, after looking at the issue over many months, they were talking about in the article, they've concluded that they'll indeed reduce a system which will be both, they say, fair and remains competitive with other countries. That's stupid. It's fair for what? I mean, people are just going to leave the country. But this guy Hunt said in the House of Commons, I mean, he was talking about this, and he said that the grace period for the new arrivals was a more generous regime than at present and one of the most attractive offers in Europe. And the changes are intended to raise about 2.7 billion pounds, which is roughly about 3.4 million US dollars in tax per year by 2028, 2029. In addition to the 8.5 billion pound new addition to taxes that non-doms currently pay in various UK taxes each year, this has given Hunt some extra headroom to cut national insurance, a form of payroll tax, which still meeting his budget targets ahead of a general election that must be called by next January. Now, Labor has also pledged to overhaul the non-dom rules. The Labor is the real liberal party there, and they're always trying to raise taxes constantly in the UK. The latest reforms have only added urgency to wealthy residents looking to leave the UK, according to David Lesperance. He's a Polish-based tax and immigration advisor for the ultra-rich. They already knew that a future Labor government was either going to abolish or significantly restrict the remittance basis. Now they know that rather than saving them, the Tories are also willing to throw them under the bus. Now, with the current regime, Mark Davies, a tax advisor for the super wealthy, said the reforms most certainly will mean people will leave. It will actually mean people will not come in the first place, as 4 years isn't enough to settle with children. So that's going to affect the property values on property in London by far. They're going to see they made a huge mistake by eventually getting out and just eliminate this non-dom system in the UK. Now, it will appeal to people on second-hand or secondment to work in the City of London. Non-domicile residents ranging from multi-billionaires to middle-ranking bankers don't pay UK taxes on their overseas earnings for as long as 15 years under the current program introduced by the ruling Conservative Party. And so you don't get confused. It's roughly about 7 years that you don't pay anything except remitted money. That changes after the 7-year period where there's a lump sum that actually kicks in, and then eventually after the 15th year, you got to pay regular taxes just like everybody else. But you do have to pay taxes after the 7-year period, no matter whether you admit it or not. It's a lump sum. Anyway, they went on to say here that more than 1 in 5 bankers earning more than £125,000 claim non-dom status at some point, according to 2022 research from the London School of Economics and the University of Warwick. Now, the oil and car industries also have a high percentage of non-dom claimants there. Now, there were 68,800 non-doms in the tax year ending 2022. The population has almost halved since 2015, when the then Labour Party leader, Ed Miliband, pledged to scrap the status. A Conservative-led government subsequently announced a measure taking effect from April 2017 to stop non-doms claiming the tax status as a permanent basis, while fees were introduced for longer-term residents. The UK's non-dom regime dates back to 1799, when it was introduced to protect colonial investments. In recent years, notable non-doms have included former HSBC Holdings PLC Chief Executive Officer Stuart Gulliver and one-time Conservative Party Deputy Chairman Michael Ashcroft. Now, the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's wife, Shanti Murthy, was also revealed in 2022 to benefit from the status. After a medium storm, Murthy said that she would pay UK taxes on her global earnings, partly derived from Indian software giant Infosys Ltd, which her dad started there. Now, other international hubs are competing for wealthy mobile residents. Italy's tax breaks include a 100,000 euro, which is roughly about 108,020 flat levy on income earned abroad, while low-income regimes have helped to attract financial firms to Gulf cities, including Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Now, we could see some wealthy individuals shun the UK as a home altogether and take their money with them, said Sean Cockburn. He's director of accountancy firm Mazars. Of the latest changes, it's a careful balancing act that must be struck, making the UK an attractive place for the world's wealthy to reside, spend money, and do business while being fairly taxed. Well, you're going to see a lot of these people leave. There's just no way it's going to continue. Now, Chris Hayward, policy chairman of the City of London Corporation that governs the capital's financial district, said it was appropriate to modernize the non-dom rules. We need to ensure that the changes are positive and proportionate, sending the right signal that the UK is a great place to live and invest. Anyway, folks, if you want to legally get around high income taxes or how to get a second passport as quick as 4 to 8 months, 2-3 things, hit the subscribe button on the right of screen and you'll get new videos automatically as they come out. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below, and I'll look forward to talking to you in the next video. Thanks.